What's up, everybody? I'm back. I'm gonna go check out this spot back here. I always see this trail. I always want to go check it out. Just crossing my fingers there aren't any cops. I'll tell you right now, if there are, probably running. Just always seen this spot and wanted to check it out. It's a little sketchy and muddy back here, huh? Hopefully there aren't any like crazy homeless guys back here that want to fucking mug me or something awesome. No trespassing. Alright, well I won't trespass back there then. Let's see what's up here. That's like malaria central in there, I bet. It's a million. It's just a million mosquitoes or something. It's kind of beat back here. Let's head back up. Hope there aren't any cops when I come up out. How the mud just flies off my front tire. No whammies, no whammies. No cops. Awesome. Woo, look at that mud flying. It's awesome. There's just mud flying everywhere. Ah, now I got some on my face shield. Whatever though. I can wash it. So yeah, I went up around Dallas this weekend on Sunday for Supermoto Sundays, a ride with the Garden Snake and Armenian and Fire Guy and a couple other guys up there. I wanted to go shout out and say thanks to, Armenian, Fire Guy and Garden Snake for, extending the invite. It was pretty awesome riding with them. It's really, those of you who don't have a Supermoto, if you remember back when you were a kid, maybe like 12 to 14 years old, and somewhere in there, and with a bunch of your buddies riding around on BMX bikes, and you're just like, finding spots to jump and riding through places you probably shouldn't really ride, and just generally horsing around with a bunch of you. That's really what it's like. I mean, it feels exactly the same, except it's just new. You're riding motorcycles instead of BMXs, but you're riding, relatively light motorcycles that feel like a BMX anyway. It's just your buddies, and you're all screwing around and doing wheelies and having a blast. And it was, I'll tell you, it was a 4-hour drive each way. But it was worth every minute of it. It really was. It was funny, you get up there and, I just got a pair of rock jeans. Garden Snake, obviously, is rocking the rock jeans. Armenian Fire Guy are both rocking the rock jeans. It was like a rock party. That was pretty funny. But yeah, man, I almost didn't make it up there. So I wasn't about to ride the Supermoto on a 4-hour ride up the highway, because then it would have been even longer, and it would have just, my ass would have been done before I even got there. So I have this, I towed the bike up on a trailer, and I have one of those $300 Harbor Freight folding trailers, ones that are like 4x8, 12-inch wheels, always on sale. I think after a sale price I paid like $225 for mine, and I put maybe another, I don't know, $75 into wood and hardware and stuff like that to build a deck on it and put some tie downs on it, and you know, buy some more straps to hold the bike down. And I'll tell you, it's been a great trailer, except the fenders on it are kind of wonky. They vibrate back and forth pretty bad, and there's a bolt that you put in the trailer to secure it when you fold it down, and I usually would hook the edge of the fender because there was just enough spring in the bracket. I'd hook it on that bolt to hold it from shaking around so bad, thinking that would be better in the long run. But on the way up, I'm maybe an hour outside of Austin, you know, too far to want to turn around, and obviously I didn't want to turn around anyway because I knew I was going to go have a lot of fun. And I'm looking in the rearview mirror, and I'm looking at this truck that's like a quarter mile behind me, and I'm like, wow, is it like hazy out? Because that truck looked hazy. And then I figured out that I'm like, it's smoke. I'm like, well, is the guy in front of me smoking? I'm like, no, that guy's car isn't smoking. I'm like, well, what could be smoking on my car? Nothing. My car's fine. I'm like, what could be smoking on my trailer? I'm like, I repacked the wheel bearings. I stopped and checked them twice to see if they were overheating, and they weren't. So I was like, what the hell? So I'm like, okay, well, I better pull over and check it out anyway. And I'm glad I did, because I pull over, and the fender on the passenger side the bracket had broken 90% of the way off, and the fender had fallen over forward and was digging into the tire and kind of melting through the tire. And I was like, whoa! So I grabbed it, ripped it off, and I threw it in the trunk so that I could, intending to make a bracket for it later. Knowing that I probably won't ever put the fender back on, because you don't have to have a fender on the trailer here. At least I don't think so anyway. And, you know, I threw it in the trunk and headed on my way down the road. Everything was cool. I got there, and Armenian came and helped me unload the bike. We went up. We went through that tunnel that Garden Snake always goes through back at that road where he always does the wheelies and shit. And went back there, hung out, and, you know, I went riding around with those guys and rode around most of the day. Got some lunch, and then ended up, me, Garden Snake, and Armenian back at Armenian's place swimming. And that was a blast. I'll tell you, after a day of riding around in 100+ degree temperatures, getting in a swimming pool is about the greatest feeling in the world. So that was pretty awesome, and that really refreshed me for the. I was not looking forward to a 4-hour drive home, you know, in the condition I was in, and that going swimming really fixed it. You know, kind of refreshed me. I wish this car wash was one where you could spray the bike off, because I've been back a couple places that were sort of muddy recently, and I could really use a my bike is all clean moment. But yeah, so anyway, you know, Supermoto Sundays was a blast, and although it's a 4-hour drive, I fully intend on heading back up there for another one. You know, it's if I can possibly swing it. One thing that sucks is that the gas is horrendous. My Mustang actually did better than I thought it was going to, and over the whole trip I averaged about 17.5, maybe 18 miles to the gallon towing the trailer, which again, that's better than I thought it was going to do. But in the meanwhile, yeah, like I said, I wanted to say thanks to everybody up there, up north of Dallas, that I rode with. I had a great time, and I fully intend on coming back. And I'll see you guys around.